You're listening to the Kickstart Your Coaching Edge podcast with Jen Barley and Karen Sullivan, episode 105. Welcome to the Kickstart Your Coaching Edge podcast, where it's all about getting real around all things coaching.
And what we know for sure is that what got you here won't get you there.
You can't see the spinach in your own teeth.
And finally, hang on, because this one's really deep. Once you realize that you are the traffic, everything makes complete and unadulterated sense.
Hey, Kara.
Hey, Jen. I feel like all these start with us laughing, so that's always a plus.
It is a plus. So today what we're going to talk about is what got you here won't get you there. And we open our show with talking about that as one of the three things we know for sure. What about that sentence just makes you connect with it so much?
I think it's for me, it's all about the growing, right? So when, let's say, even think about it, right? You're in your teens, there's a bunch of things that you needed to know and that made you successful, let's say. And then in your 20s, it's something else. In your 30s, it's something else. Man, now I'm starting to feel like we're old. But, but when you think about that, right, different phases of your life get you to different places. And what got you and what worked really well in one phase is not going to be essentially very effective in the next phase.
And it's true. We help clients with this all the time. So as coaches, it's our clients come to us and they say, here's where I am.
And sometimes they don't even know where they are.
That's a total true. Yes, sometimes that happens as well.
Yeah. And if you think about that, right, it's our job first to even help them identify where they are.
You know, it's true. And then what we could do then is by great questioning, we can find out what did get them to where they are. And then what needs to pivot or tweak or do something different to go to the next level.
Yeah, and you know, I will do this again and again and again with my car analogies, but it's funny because if you know, somebody says to me, "Okay, great, you need to go north." Well, to get to a specific spot. That's not going to help me because I don't even know what north is half the time. So it's about being able to what has you in the place where you're at that's going to help you actually get grounded where you are to get a solid direction as to where you want to go. Because if I don't even know where north is, I'm not going to be able to get there.
So totally agree with that. And so it's about really figuring out then where are our clients now and where do they want to be? And we're going to say that again and again and again on this podcast. And that's what we believe in, right? So where are you today? Where do you want to go? And then what's the big question, Kara?
What's in the way?
Yes. So if you even think about that, if you guys want to follow along and do your own exercise, take a few minutes, push pause after you hear the instructions, but push pause on and make a list. Where are you now? What's working? What's not? Give a good description. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? How do you want to go to the next level of your life? And write down a really detailed description of what that looks like.
Yeah, I think too, Jen, it's not only what does it look like, right? What does it feel like, right? What does it sound like? Even in both places, you know, where you are now, what does it feel like to be where you are now? And because I think that we need to identify and we need to connect with some of those feelings that are there.
Love it. And then listing out. So do that. Push pause. Write down those lists. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? And then if you're back with us, that means that hopefully you have that already figured out. And then the key thing is what's in the way. Because the what's in the way is going to tell you exactly what you need to do to get to the next level. It's going to tell you what you need to overcome. Karen and I, which is you, Kara.
Yeah, that's me.
We always like to say that there are three things that when we look at the obstacles that we have. Is it a knowledge gap? Is it a skill gap? Or is it a mindset gap?
And you know, it's funny, Jen, so many of these times, you know, people will believe so strongly that things are skill and that things are knowledge. And all of them, I feel, at some point do get turned into a mindset. Because even if you don't have the skills, you can get the skills, right? If you don't have the knowledge, you can actually, you know, do something to learn it. But then once you have that, what's the mindset that you really need to make that work or to be successful?
A great example of that would be that if it's a skill deficiency, let's say, so I need to get a skill around X, Y, and Z. And then I go to do that because it's pretty easy to get skills, right? You just have to have someone teach you, you need to learn it, and then you need to practice it. It can quickly shift to a mindset challenge. The moment is, this is hard. I don't know if I can do this. What if I can never catch up to other people who are doing it better than I am? All those kinds of interesting mindset challenges come. So we could start with a skill set gap that will quickly lead to a mindset gap. And it's just kind of an interesting way to look at it. I do think that most barriers of what, for all of us to go to the next level, tend to be more of a mindset challenge.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that this makes me think about golf, even though we really don't play that much anymore. It makes me think about golf because first it's about understanding, right? So you got to understand the game. You need to know the rules, all that knowledge. Then you have a golf instructor or you learn, right? So you get the skills. And then after that, it's all in your head because you have what it takes to do it, but it's it's the stories that you tell yourself. And it's some days that you're going out and you're shooting in the 80s and other days you're going out and, you're blowing 100 up. So I think that it's about that mindset then because you didn't forget, but what's the game that you're going to play? What's your mindset?
Love it. And the whole thing with what got you here won't get you there. It's about asking yourself, if I want more out of life, if I want something different, if I want to set goals and I want to achieve them, if I want to see how far I can go, it's about really asking yourself, what do I need to be open to? What do I need to reach out for? What do I need to write down? What do I need to have as a non-negotiable? What do I need to do to approach this whole thing differently? Because I'm a different person than I was, maybe like you said, Kara, in our 20s or 30s, and too many decades to go through at this stage. But it's how do we figure out the best way for success to get us to where it is that we want to go?
And I think the big part of that, too, is also identifying what does success look like.
Right. Being able to have a clear vision of that, right? And it isn't even, there's so many different ways to do this, but yes, what does success look like? Which is not always the end destination, but a lot of times it's the process, it's the journey. How do you want to show up as you're working towards the next best version of you?
Yeah, and that makes me think of if the goal is the experience, then you're always going to hit your goal. So it's about being in that moment. So then score every time.
So if you were to think, Kara, about our next level and where we're going and what we're doing, and if what got you here won't get you there, what do you think we need to pivot on?
I think a big thing for us is what do we need to let go of?
That is so true.
Yeah. Because right there, it's how do we get out of the weeds and how do we continue to work on the business and not in the business.
Fair enough. So that brings up a point with everything that we're doing, anybody's doing, people listening to this podcast is doing. It's what do you need to start doing? What do you need to stop doing? And what do you need to continue to do?
Spot on.
Love it. It's so funny you brought up golf. It's been quite a while since we played. One of my favorite times ever is since you were a golfer from the get-go, me only learning with you, one of my favorite times is when we went into the pro shop, but I didn't know it was a pro shop. And I walked away and I said, oh my God, they had the best gift shop ever. And I think you just about fell over in your chair.
Pretty much. It was like, no, Jen, that is called a pro shop. And then another time when we're starting to play and you're like, I said, where are you going to hit the ball? And you said, oh, the grassy knoll up there. I said, oh, you mean the fairway? Yeah, long time ago.
I know. We need to go to the driving range again. Anyway, so this has been a great discussion, right? So, and it's for the listeners to really ask yourself, how are you going to help your clients learn a new skill set, knowledge, or mindset to help take them to where it is that they want to go?
Until next time. Bye. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Kickstart Your Coaching Edge podcast. Craving more in-depth discussions? Check out the Get Real Inner Circle with our no BS in-crowd of coaches.
Join live coaching discussions, breakdowns of coaching calls, and have some fun while you're at it.
You're going to want to go to kickstartyouredge.com/inner circle. It's time to get real.